The first step in aligning your table saw is to test the blade flatness. Start by placing the stylus against the blade body. Then rotate the scale so that the large hand points to 0. Rotate the blade while observing the reading on the dial indicator. If you have a contractor's saw, rotate the blade by pulling the belt. On cabinet saws, the belt is not easily accessed, so the blade must be turned by hand. Be careful not to flex the blade and invalidate your readings. To discern between blade warp and other problems, find the highest spot and mark it. Now loosen the arbor nut and rotate the blade on the arbor 1/2 turn. Retighten the arbor nut and check the blade flatness again. Re-find the highest spot on the blade. If it occurs at the same place that you marked earlier, then it's due to blade warp. If not, then it's due to an arbor or flange runout problem. To check the arbor runout, use the rounded stylus tip from the offset bar. Place the stylus tip directly onto the arbor. Move the stylus to an unthreaded part of the arbor. Move side to side to find the highest reading. This is the top dead center of the arbor. Rotate the scale so that the large hand points to 0. Now rotate the arbor and observe the reading on the dial indicator. Removing belts makes this much easier. The arbor runout should be less than 1/1000th of an inch on a good table saw. To measure flange runout, tilt the arbor and the upright bar as shown. Rotate the scale so that the large hand points to 0. Rotate the arbor and observe the reading on the dial indicator. Flange runout on a good table saw should be less than 1/1000th of an inch. The next step is to align the blade parallel to the miter slots. Use the offset bar. Place the stylus against the blade surface and rotate the scale so that the large hand points to 0. Slide TS Aligner Junior down to the other end of the blade surface and observe the change in reading on the dial indicator. If you know that the blade is warped, mark the blade and make both measurements at this spot by rotating the blade. When the blade is perfectly aligned, you'll see no change in reading between the two positions. To correct for misalignment, loosen 3 of the 4 table bolts and shift the table position to correct. On contractors type saws, the trunnion bolts are loosened and the trunnion is shifted. See your owner's manual for details on how this is done. The next step is to align the blade tilt axis. Check the blade alignment as before, but this time do it with the blade fully tilted. Tapping the stylus of the indicator against the tilted blade surface ensures an accurate reading. Shim under the front or rear of the table to correct any misalignment. Regular blade alignment will need to be rechecked after this procedure to ensure that it hasn't changed. Setting the blade tilt can be done very easily and accurately with TS Aligner Junior. Mount the angle attachment gauge and set the 1-inch point using an accurate square. Push the dial indicator forward until both points are in contact with the blade surface. Adjusting the blade tilt causes a change in reading. The blade is square when both hands point to 0. Always double check the setting to make sure it is correct. Indicator readings for specific angles can be found on the back cover of the manual. For example, 20 degrees corresponds to a reading of 0.636 on the dial indicator. Hold both points against the blade while adjusting the tilt mechanism. As before, double check the setting and make any final adjustments. Precision ground steel angle blocks can be used